Hey guys, this is Dylan Sider with Kinfolk Carpentry, and today we are going to talk about 5 reasons why carpentry is a good career path in 2025. So stick around as I install some cabinets and we'll have a little chat. All right, so number 1 on my list is fulfillment. I think we as humans have an inherent desire to be productive, to feel like what we do is fulfilling, and it feels really good at the end of the day to say that you accomplished something, or that, like, you know, hey, I made something that was ugly look beautiful, or complete a task. Yesterday I was gutting a kitchen, and it was an old kitchen with like horsehair plaster and lath, and it was not fun. Not all parts of the job are fun, but at the end of the day, when you look at a dumpster and it was empty at the beginning of the day, and at the end of the day it's like 3/4 full of like trash, and you're like, wow, I worked hard today, I earned my money. You get a lot of that with carpentry. Sometimes days are fun, I really enjoy what I'm doing today, installing cabinets, but there are days that are tough, but at least at the end of the day you can say, like, I accomplished something, I did a lot of work today. I came home all dirty and dusty, needed to shower right away, but life's good. I worked hard, earned my money. So fulfillment, that's my number 1 of why I think carpentry is important. That's how it's done, boys and girls. That's how it's done. Little tip when you're hanging cabinets by yourself: measure out where your cabinet goes, make some rough lines, and get a stud, pre-drill your hole, and put the screw in before you lift it up there, so you're not like fumbling around trying to find the stud. Just stick her up there and screw her in while you already have your lines marked. Chef's kiss. Number 2, I'm gonna go with aging workforce. I work with a lot of guys, and I would say I only know 1 that's in their 30s. I know a few guys that are in their early 40s, but the majority of guys are like 50 and older. And that's going to be a real problem in a few years here. I also think that, like, as guys get older, they don't get stronger, or they don't get, faster. Sure, the knowledge is still there, but even those older guys who keep working late into their 60s and even 70, they're going to need help, lots of help, to do all the hard work. So I think it's a big benefit to be in your 30s and your 20s, even 19 coming out of high school. I think there's a huge need for guys to learn the trades. And that's every trade, I'm talking about carpentry right now, but I think it's beneficial for guys to go into plumbing, electrical, So that's my second tip, or my second reason, I should say, is there's a lot of old guys doing it, but there's not a lot of young guys doing it. And I think eventually, when all these guys retire and there's going to be such a shortage, I think you're going to be able to kind of set your own rates and make what you want to make, because I don't think there's going to be a lot of people out there competing. Let's see Chat GPT do this. Oh. That's my next point. I think carpentry is pretty AI proof. You know, I think in the next 10 years, who knows how many jobs AI is going to steal. But I'd like to see AI do what I just did. They won't be for, I think, quite a while. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I have a hard time seeing it. So I think in a world that's moving more in that direction, I think it's pretty safe to suggest that the trades are always going to be there and always going to be needed. So, yeah. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I once heard on a podcast that if your job has been around for over 100 years, you're probably safe from AI. So, number 4 reason, no school debt. So things work a little differently when I was growing up, being from Canada. You basically find a job first, which was working for my dad, and then that employer sends you to school, and the government pays you 60% of your wages to go to college to get trained to become a carpenter. You need 4,000 hours and 3 semesters of schooling, and then you write a journeyman's test and you become a licensed carpenter. So I went through that process back in Canada. But the awesome thing there is that school, each semester was like $800, and you got paid 60% of your wages to go to school. They gave you like a gas stipend for however many miles you drove to go to school. And then every semester of school you pass, you got $1,000 towards tools, which I think is a phenomenal way of doing things, and I wish the US would adopt that. But I mean, in the US, you essentially don't need any schooling to become a carpenter. You just find a reputable company to work for and get started and work your way up, and then maybe one day start working for yourself, or start leading a crew with other carpenters or whatever. So essentially there's a very low cost barrier to entry, and in Canada it actually pays you to go to school, and you come out of that school age without any debt, and you're working full time and making a decent living. So that's the number 4 reason why I think it's a good option, carpentry and the trades. Boom. All done. Got the crown done. Doors back on. I got some cabinets to do somewhere else in the house, so I'm going to keep working on that. Driving home, my day is done. So, the 5th point of why I think it's a good career path to become a carpenter in 2025 is it can really benefit your family. You know, I come from a long line of carpenters. My grandfather, my dad, my brother, my uncle. My brother isn't a carpenter anymore. He's an arborist. He runs a tree company. He's wildly successful at that. So I might actually be one of the least skilled people in my family, but on my wife's side of the family, none of them are in the trades. And I'm kind of a go-to call for someone who, needs. My father-in-law needed help with a deck, so I helped him build a deck on his house, and I replaced a gutter on his cabin, and I'm kind of the call if there's a project that's kind of beyond just general maintenance stuff, and as far as my own immediate family, I fully renovated my house for the cost of materials, and I flipped a house and built a lot of equity in that home and sold it and helped pay off loans and things like that. There's a big benefit in being a person that can work on their own house and make their own property nicer. So that is a large benefit to being a carpenter, is being able to help out your family. And you know, at the end of it all, I have a family of 6. I have 4 kids, and my wife stays home with them, and I'm able to provide for a family of 6 on one income. All right, so that's it. Those are my 5 reasons why you should get into the trades, become a carpenter. And thanks for sticking around. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.